Good morning, students. In the last lecture of the operating system, we were seeing the different scheduling algorithms that are used to implement that are used to schedule the different processes that are arrived into the operating system. Now, in this lecture, we will start our next point, that is a deadlock. Deadlock words tells itself that there is one lock arrived into the operating system. That means, in a technical word, deadlock is a situation where a set of processes are blocked because each process is holding a resource and waiting for another resource acquired by some other process. That means a deadlock is one situation where a process is blocked because whenever it requires some resource, that resource is already held by some other process, and because of that reason that process is blocked, so it is called as deadlock. Consider an example when two trains are coming toward each other on a same track and there is only one track. None of trains can move once they are in a front of each other. Similar situation is occurred in a operating system when there are two or more processes holds some resources and wait for resources held by another processes. This situation may occur a deadlock. In short, a deadlock happens in an operating system when two or more processes need some resource to complete their execution that is held by other process. This is a deadlock. Let's see the definition of the deadlock. Hello? In a programming or in a multi-programming environment, several processes may compete for a finite number of resources. We know that in a multi-programming environment, there are n number of processes and n number of resources, and that resources are allocated to that particular process for their successful execution. A process requires resources, and if the resources are not available at that time, the process enters into a waiting state. Whenever for the execution any one process requests for some resource, and if that particular resource is not available at that time, that process enters into a waiting state. Sometimes a waiting process is never again able to change state because the resources it has requested are held by other waiting processes, and this situation is called as a deadlock. But sometimes in some situation, a waiting process never again changes its state. That means a waiting process never comes into a ready state because the resources it has requested that is already held by some other process, or that resource is continuously using by another process. That's why that particular process is in continuously waiting process. So in this situation we called as a deadlock situation is occurred. That means a deadlock is a situation that occurs in an operating system when any process enters a waiting state because other waiting process is holding and demanded resource. But the deadlock is a common problem in multi-programming operating system. Let's see one example. As earlier, I told one example that where in the situation where two trains are coming into a same track. In that situation, the deadlock may occur because there is only one track available for passing the train. But there are two trains are coming in front of each other by only one track. In that situation, the deadlock occur. Let's see another one example of the deadlock. A real world example would be a traffic which is going only in a one direction. Here, bridge is considered as a resource. In this example, this example is of traffic. The traffic is the best example of a deadlock condition where you consider the bridge, the common bridge is one resource. Then when deadlock happens, it can be easily resolved if one car backs up. That means preempt resource and rollback. Then several cars may have to back up if a deadlock situation occurs. So that starvation problem is possible. See this example in this figure shows here is one common bridge for passing the two-way traffic. This is the good example of deadlock. Here deadlock may occur because one car is arrived from this direction, the yellow car is arrived from the left direction, and the red car is occurred or red car is arrived from the right direction. But here is one way, here is one common path for passing the two cars. At that time, the deadlock condition occur. Here the traffic may be arrived. In this traffic condition, the two cars comes in the front of one to each other. Here yellow and red cars are come in front of each other. So here the deadlock occur. But for resolving this condition, this deadlock condition, the cars back up. If the cars back up, that means if a yellow car is back up, then the path is available for the red car. And if the red car is back up, then path is available for yellow car for passing. So in this situation, the deadlock situation is resolved by preempting the resources. This is the good example of deadlock. Let's see another one example. We may think that deadlock can occur on same resource type for an example if there are two printers. Consider the example if there are two printers into the system, both of them are held by two different processes. There are two printers available with system, but that two printers are held by two different processes. And then the first process waits for a second process to release the printer, which is causing deadlock. This condition is also causing the deadlock. Let's see another one example. Let's assume there are two processes, PA and PB. PA holds the tape drive resource and P2 holds printer. But in this situation, deadlock can occur if PA request for a printer and PB request for a tape drive. In this situation is also deadlock situation may occur. Next we will see the system model for the deadlock situation. A system consists of finite number of resources to be distributed among the number of computing processes. The system consists of n number of resources, and that resources are distributed among the number of processes. When multiple copies of a resource exist, then any one of these copies can be utilized to meet the request for a resource by the defined process. But there are two types of resources. That means resources come in two types. First one is the preemptive resources, and second one is the non-preemptive resources. What do you mean by preemptive resources? A preemptive resource is one that can be taken away from the process owning it without disturbing anything. That means a preemptive resource is one resource that can be taken away from a holding process without disturbing anything of the execution of that particular process. The memory is the good example of preemptive resources, because the memory is shared among the n number of multiple processes. The memory contents or the memory area is taken away from any process to any process. That means a memory area is taken away from a holding process without disturbing anything. This is a preemptive resource. The next one is the non-preemptive resource. What is a non-preemptive resources? If non-preemptive resource is one that cannot be taken away from its current owner without causing the competition to fail. That is a non-preemptive resources. That means a non-preemptive resources cannot be taken away from the currently holding process, from the currently holding owner. That means current owner. That means a resource cannot be taken away from its current owner. For example, if P1 process holds a printer, then here in this condition the printer is not taken away from a P1 without its permission or without its full execution of that particular process. This is an two types of resources comes into the operating system. When a process in an operating system uses different resources and uses that particular resources in following way. That means when the operating system operations are in a normal mode, then a process can use the resources in a sequence mentioned below. For example, first step is a request a resource. Before allocating directly the resource, first the process request for the particular resource. That means requesting process has to wait till the resource is made available to it. For example, a process requires some memory to carry out its task requesting for the same. That means when a particular process requires some resource, first it requests for that particular resource. Then next, use the resource. That is, it uses the memory to perform its task. That means uses of that particular resource. After requesting that resource, it use that particular resource. And last step is that releases the resource. That means after completion of that particular task, that particular resource is released by the process. That means it releases the memory to perform another task. That means after the execution of the process releases its resources. Consider the example. see this figure. In this figure, process P1 is holding a resource 1. Here, process 1 holding a resource 1 and waiting for a resource 2. And process 1 is waiting for a resource 2 which is acquired by the process 2. And process 2 is waiting for the resource 1. In this situation, the deadlock is occur. Here, the circular wait may occur into the processes because process 1 holding the resource 1, but it is waiting for another resource, that is resource 2. But at that time resource 2 is already held by a process P2. So the P1 does not get the resource 2. P1 is in waiting state because the resource 2 is already allocated by the process 2. And say in a same way, process 2 holding a resource 2 and it is waiting for a resource 1. This situation causes the deadlock situation. This is an deadlock. Now see what are the different necessary conditions for occurring the deadlock situation. That means a deadlock situation can arise if following 4 conditions hold simultaneously into the system. These are the 4 conditions. Because of that 4 conditions, the deadlock is occurred into the operating system. First one is that mutual exclusion. In a mutual exclusion condition, there should be a resource that can only be held by one process at a time. In a mutual exclusion condition, there should be one resource that can be held by one process at a time. In the below diagram, there is a single instance of a resource 1 and it is held by process 1 only. That means the mutual exclusion condition state that at least one resource must be held in non-shareable mode. That is, only one process at a time can use the resource. If another process requests that particular resource, then the requesting process must be delayed until the resource has been released. In short, the mutual exclusion condition states that at least one resource must be held in a non-shareable mode. That is, only one process at a time use that particular resource. Then second condition is the hold and wait condition. The hold and wait condition states that a process must be holding at least one resource and waiting to acquire additional resources that are currently being held by another process. Here in this example, the process process 2 holds the resource 2 and resource 3. Here in this example, process 2 holds 2 resources, resource 2 and resource 3, and a requesting resource and requesting the resource 1, and it requests for a resource 1 which is already held by the process 1. So here hold and wait condition states that a process can hold multiple resources and still request one more resources from other processes which are holding them. Because of this condition, the deadlock may occur, because here in this situation requesting resource is already held by another process. So here is an condition says hold and wait. This process holds already one resource and waiting for another resource. So This situation is called as hold and wait condition or hold and wait situation. Then next condition for the deadlock is a non-preemption. A non-preemption condition states that resources cannot be preempted. That is, a resource can be released only voluntarily by the process holding it after that process has completed its task. Here, no preemption is occurred to the particular resource. That means a resource cannot be preempted. The resources cannot be preempted from a process by force. Forcefully, the resources cannot be preempted. A process can be only release a resource vulnerability. That means if the execution of that particular process is completed, which is holding that particular resource, at that time only it can release the process. We cannot forcefully preempted that particular process, preempted that particular resource from a process. This is a non-preemption. See this figure. In this figure, process P2 cannot preempt resource 1. Process P2, process 2 cannot preempt resource 1 from the process 1. It only be released when process 1 completely executes its task. After the successful completion of its task, the process 1 releases the resource 1. That means in the non-preemption condition states that the resources cannot be preempted from a process by forcefully. In this situation, the process 2 is already allocated the resource 2, but still it is request for a resource 1. But here in this situation, the process P2 cannot preempt the resource 1 until the execution of the process 1 is completed. This is a non-preemption condition. Then last condition is a circular wait. In a circular wait, a set of processes P0 to P1. Consider the example. There is a set of processes P0 to Pn of a waiting processes must exist such that P0 is waiting for a resource held by P1, P1 is waiting for a resource held by P2. In this way, the resource Pn-1 is waiting for resource held by Pn, and Pn is waiting for a resource held by the P0. In this way, here the circular wait is occur. That means circular wait word itself tells that there is an circular waiting among the processes and resources. In a circular wait condition, a process is waiting for a resource held by the second process, which is waiting for the resource held by the third process, and so on, till the last process is waiting for the resource held by the first process. This forms a circular chain, and this is called as circular wait. For example, in this example, process 1 is allocated to resource 2, and it is requesting resource 1. Similarly, process 2 is allocated by resource 1 and it is requesting for the resource 2. This form of circular wait is called as one loop, and this loop we called as circular wait. That means, in short, in a circular wait, there may form a loop of different processes and resources. Here, in a circular chain, one process is allocated by another allocated by one resource and it is requested for another one resource. Same way, another process is allocated by some resource and it is requested for another resource. This situation occur the circular chain or circular loop, and this condition we called as a circular wait. These are the 4 conditions. Because of that conditions, the deadlock is occurred into the operating system. There are 4 necessary conditions for the deadlock, that are mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait. In today's lecture, we were seeing that what is an exactly deadlock is, then example of deadlock, then the system model. There are 2 types of resources comes into the system, that are preemptive resources and non-preemptive resources. Then we were seeing another one example which causes the deadlock situation. Then next we see the 4 necessary conditions for the deadlock. First condition is the mutual exclusion, second condition is the hold and wait, third is the non-preemption, and last condition is the circular wait. These are the 4 conditions for necessary conditions for the deadlock. Okay, thank you.